Shaan Hurley is a well-known design technology 30-year veteran, currently in the role of Technologist in the office of the CTO at design software maker Autodesk. He brings a distinguished track record of innovation, strategy, and the ability to quickly assess current technology and forecast into the future. Please give a hand for Shaan.
Thank you. It's kind of awkward hearing that, Brent.
I mean, that's an incredible
I really need to hide behind a curtain, that's right.
Yep. Head curtain.
So it's just the arrow keys, right?
Yep.
So the reason why I'm here tonight, it's not because I got a good view of our office that's right across the river at Towne Storage, but there's an area of AR and MR and VR and XR, whatever your acronym is, that I find it doesn't get talked about very often, but it's kind of a sweet spot right now. The hardware is hopefully catching up as we go. At the end, hopefully you'll have a better understanding of why I think it's a sweet spot and how we're actually using it today. So, Shaan Hurley with Autodesk for 21 years now. I started with Autodesk in Portland, and I kind of did the reverse. So I went from Portland to San Francisco, and I'm back. So they can't keep me away. The city changed a hell of a lot, that's for sure. Autodesk, most of you probably know, we saw a Revit product of ours. We have 140 different products. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not the sales team. I'm kind of in a geek squad. It's a few of us in the CTO office. That's what we do. We look at things that are happening today with our customers, as well as 5 years, 10 years, and crazy casting out the future. But we do everything from cars. We help our customers design cars to skyscrapers, from bridges to blockbusters. We're a little bit of everywhere, but most people don't know our name. If I say I work for Autodesk, they go, what? They know our customers, they know what our customers do, and they certainly know if I say AutoCAD, then they're like, oh yeah, I did that in college. It's not the best, but we're pretty proud to be the tool used by many of the creative people, not only just in Portland, but around the world. We're also Portlanders. So when we announced our moving downtown over here, and the renovation of the Towne Storage building, the Oregonian and William Weekly like, wow, software maker is moving from San Francisco up to Portland. Not really. We had 300 employees down in Lake Oswego, or as I like to call, extreme Southwest. Because you don't say Lake Oswego, because some people roll their eyes. But so we ended up moving the employees over here in April to the building, and we got a great view of this building. And there's the location. I'm going to weave AR into this too. So it's been around since 1913. It was an old paper storage. Then it became county records. And its last incarnation before us was as an artist colony. The loft space over there. And it had aged not so gracefully over the years. It took a lot of work to get it into the shape it is today. But a couple of years ago that was undertaken. I think it's kind of a nice thing to have on the east side, to see old Portland restored and celebrated. We love old Portland, and so when we were looking at all the different properties, there was no doubt this diamond in the rough it screamed, it oozed Portland, and it be celebrated and restored. So it started, and we had a ribbon cutting in June. We had the mayor there. The gentleman you might know next to our CEO, Andrew, is Rick Turcosi. He runs the incubator, Portland Innovation Experiment, the PI. We love startups, and they are actually on our second floor over there. So we have 6 startups at any given time, maybe some, maybe more at times, depending on their size. And Portland Women in Technology are also, their office is over there, Innovation Quadrant. We believe in the community here. We love it. So we gave the floor of our building off. It looks pretty sweet. It's got a great view of the west side. And it took a lot of coordinated construction in order to get to this point. I'd invite you at any of the events or give me a holler, come over and see it. We love it. It screams Portland. All of our employees that visit from our other world locations say, wow, it couldn't be anywhere else but Portland. We involved our employees. We even used VR. So one of the things when we were moving employees from the Southwest to downtown, they freaked out a little bit, nervous, apprehension. What, I have to have a commute. I have to find where I can park, all those things. So we showed them the space and the designs that we were working with the local architecture firm McKinsey. And so I walked employees through the VR to kind of get them an idea of what the floors would look like to alleviate that. We had a group of employees that figured out what was important to them, right down to naming conventions. So if you go over there, we have floors named after Oregon rivers, mountains, breweries. I mean, you got to do that. I'm not going to bore you with the details. We're heavily invested in AEC. From the design phase, as you saw with Revit, all the way through construction to getting into the building model and the existing building, the digital twins and operating of the building, the existing buildings. And so we're trying to bridge the whole gamut. There's research that says there's 35% waste in any construction project. So getting to the reality of the building being constructed, there's a lot of inefficiencies and things that can be automated and done. One of those things, well, you can see in Portland here, it's a beautiful view, the big crane I can see. It's kind of interesting. I can see it there, I can see it here. 380-foot crane right behind our buildings. There's a lot of construction going on here, as well as what we were doing over at Towne Storage. Here's HoloLens. So HoloLens has been something that has been really interesting for us for construction. The ability to go out on site, load the building information model, whether it be the design of this building in here before you've constructed it, but to be able to see that overlaid on what you're seeing in reality is pretty powerful. You're able to spot things that aren't complete, maybe they're not correct to the design. There's a lot of information that's very helpful to have in a heads-up display. This is what you see through that. This is this is one of the world's largest construction projects. This is what that construction management person is seeing. He's seeing things that, it flags and tells him information about the status of that. You can also show, time records of percentages of complete, things that are wrong. Again, this is some of the views. I should have done videos like Logan. This is Towne Storage. That 1913 building had a lot of digital design information in a building information line. And the gentleman that was, the company that was tasked with coordinating all those different things, whether it be the electrical, the HVAC, making sure the two shall never meet in a bad way, as well as making it become a reality from a shell of a building to something that's really nice, was a gentleman right here, Phil Miller of Fortis. The only guy I ever met that walked in with a 360 camera on a hard hat. And I thought to myself, I know I'm going to like this guy. So Phil?
Hi, Phil Miller. I've been with Fortis Construction for about 2.5 years. I've been in the construction industry about 10 years, and I have an Associate of Applied Arts in video production from pre-YouTube. So I've been kind of in a tech industry for most of my adult life. I'm really excited about technology. So a little bit about Fortis. Fortis is a Portland company, founded here in 2003. In 10 of those last 15 years, we've been on the 5,000 fastest growing private companies list. Now we're over 300 people. We just passed $1 billion per year this year, and most of our work is with repeat work with clients that we've worked with in the past. So our biggest market sector is data centers. Logan, thanks for the intro on BIM for everybody here who's not familiar with it. You can see, BIM versus real, they're getting much more accurate, much more representative of the actual things these days. And buildings are complicated, right? So my job as a BIM manager for Fortis Construction is to coordinate within the building to make sure, like Shaan said, that the electricity and the ductwork don't run into each other in a bad way. So we virtually model. The architects are kind enough to give us a model that they've built entirely in 2 dimensions, and we then consume it in a much more intimate way in 3 dimensions, and light it up like this with fabrication models of ductwork and conduit and pipe. And in the old days, to make that happen, they would do what's called an overlay and they would actually put on a light table, they would have a pen mylar drawing of where the lights were going to go and where the diffusers were going to go. And I know in this image there are in excess of 10 clashes, but picking them out by eye is not maybe the best way to do that. So Shaan's company has kindly provided something even better, and the computer will now tell us where conflicts are happening between disparate models. So I can say, oh yeah, that pipe and that duct are not going to be happy if we try to install them that way in the field, and we can solve these issues virtually ahead of the actual construction. So this is something that I've been doing on and off for the last 10-ish years, and really diving into it a lot with Fortis Construction. So solving these problems, once we get those problems resolved, then we can go out into the field and build it. So this is an image from Towne Storage. We're actually shooting lasers, not shark kind, but a total station. So it's this gizmo will place model points into reality. So now we've got model stuff being built into reality, and we can see, I'm carrying my iPad out there, and I've got this blue duct down here in the iPad is the same duct that they're installing, and it's accurate to within a half an inch of exactly. They said that was what they would build and where they would put it, and they're able to coordinate around the beams and the columns. You can see the column here that they're right up against the beam, and everything's going to fit, and then they're actually going to build a tiny house design inside of Towne Storage. Goes right up to the underside of that, and everything fit because we planned and coordinated it ahead of time. So again, I got to bring out my new HoloLens on the Towne Storage project. We were able to do mixed reality for the first time. So, and that's a genuine smile on an industry expert commissioning agent. So he's been in the industry for a long time. He's never seen anything like this, and now he can see, what's in the picture there. He's looking up and seeing that ductwork in place before it's even arrived on site. And he can start to look at the finished product, which is again super exciting. So Fortis has a pioneering mindset, and these are some slides I generated to actually pitch this to my team on another project down in Eugene. So the idea was, who's going to use this, and it's going to be project engineers, superintendents and foremen, and we can share it, of course, with our external team members, architects and engineers, as well as the clients and the owners of the buildings themselves. And what are we doing with it? We are doing quality control. I want to do quality control with this. I want to get that coordinated MEP scope that I've spent so long in my virtual model. I've got it coordinated, and now the people in the field are not necessarily model savvy users. They've been building buildings just fine off of paper for 30 years. Why do I need this gizmo? Well, this gizmo tells you whether or not you put it in the right place. And so we're getting to that point of building a coordinated model accurately with the model right in front of folks' faces. So the other things that we can do with it, I think, that have a tremendous amount of value also are the field coordination and communication. We can train folks up onto the project and say, here is the mechanical room that you're going to build. Oh, this is what it looks like when it's done. Now I get why I'm here. And also, it's shiny. It's a good thing to show to clients. We're going to focus on when to use it is really during rough-in. I think that's the cool part. I think down the road our clients can use it for X-ray vision, but ideally during rough-in is best. And then where? I want to use it everywhere. So this is a picture from using it at Towne Storage, and you can see it's painting the duct there pretty closely with that blue. That blue duct is right over the top of the actual duct. So it was fun to see those things pop in the right places. This is an image from Eugene where you can see it's really close. Really, oh, I want it to be so much closer than that. But you can see where it's laying over and painting that that duct with those pipes. Here's another image where you can see clearly what's installed and what needs to be installed, and I think that that's an important visual leap for folks to make. But there are challenges, right? So the hardware and software, the quote I heard was, hardware and software are never ready until version 3. I'm seeing that you primarily work in making software. I don't know if you necessarily agree with that, but that's sort of the word on the street anyway. The HoloLens has some file size limitations and a little bit of drift, but it is improving, and the cultural shift toward technology adoption is happening. We're seeing people be less afraid of technology on the job site. Little things like lasers and stuff like that are really gaining adoption. But really, when I put it on, I want people to say, "Oh, he's working with a tool," and not, "Oh, he's playing with a toy." That's kind of the big kind of mind shift that we're approaching in construction. So, thank you.
Thank you, Phil. One thing I learned out of that talk was that we'll never release a 1.0 product again. We'll start at 3. We just short-circuited it right there. Now, we're excited about the hardware. Hope it catches up. Imagine the ability for a contractor to go out there and mark up areas for the crew to go back and look at later, or request for quote, or clarifications. All the important stuff that actually happens in those buildings, and all that data being in one conduit. And you can mix that together with AI, machine learning, and get really smart, good stuff. And the more efficient those project sites are, the less waste there is in construction. That's a good thing all around. So, thank you.